discussing Lord of the Rings, Hobbit, stuff like that. So I'll talk about like the books and the movies and the games as well. I will admit I've forgotten a lot, especially when it comes to the Hobbit. I can't remember all the dwarves' names. Isn't Feely and Keely two of them? The movies are awesome. I think I'd read The Hobbit when I was younger. I had not read the three Lord of the Rings books, though, until after the Fellowship of the Ring. When the movie came out in '01. The movies were awesome. There was a couple of little things I didn't, kind of the weird. Differences I didn't like Return of the King. Is the spider's name Shelob in Lord of the Rings? It's Aragog in Harry Potter, right? Maybe I'll call it up on my phone. But in Return of the King, the spider does not talk. It talks in the book. Similar to the eagles as well. That was an issue I had, actually. I'll start with the Hobbit. The Hobbit's the one is it takes place before Lord of the Rings. Gandalf goes and gets Bilbo, and the dwarves all come and they convince him to go on an adventure, and they go on an adventure. They gotta get they want to kill the dragon, Smog, because he destroyed the dwarves' kingdom or whatever, and he's now just hanging out in there on all the gold, because that's what he loves. So they go on an adventure to get it back. Here it is. I called it up. Thorin Oakenshield's the main guy. Keely is one as well. Dwalin, Balin. Feely is one as well. Gloin, Beaufort, Ori, Bombor, Oin, Nori. I don't know, that's all of them. It has a bunch of different people here now. B4 maybe is one. Dory. The book was cool. It's short. Peter Jackson pulled it into 3 movies, which was probably overkill, to be honest with you. Because it's a pretty short book. I don't even know if it's 300 pages, to be honest with you. I have it. I didn't grab it, though. I grabbed it. Oh, no, I did grab it. Yeah, it's just a little over 304. So it's not a huge book. The Enchanting Prelude. These obviously are not the original copies of these books, probably like the 20th release. But the first Hobbit movie was really good. I liked it. The book's cool. Same thing in the book. I'll talk about the first one. The first movie, in the book they go and they meet up. Take care of some trolls. They turn to stone, the trolls. Those 2 rock things battling. Like I said, I can't remember a lot of the names of these things. The movies were kind of cool because they kind of expanded on some stuff, like Radagast the Brown, the one wizard. It was him, Gandalf, and Sauron, and he's the third one that doesn't really get mentioned much at all, even in the books. I also have the Unfinished Tales. I guess his grandson or his son released it. It has a bunch of random stuff from all different ages that he wrote about. Because it's crazy, like Tolkien's has the stories and all the backstories and all the little crazy things and stuff. But they all go out and whatever, eventually Smog gets killed by the Bard. What's his name? Is it just Bard? Kills him with a perfectly placed arrow to a point of. It's like 1 weak spot. Smog's 1 weak point. And then there's the Battle of the 5 Armies, which is I think it's orcs and goblins. The elves. The men from the lake town, I think, are there too. I forget all of them. I think some elves come too, the elves. I didn't like that as much because was his name Bjorn is the guy who turns into the bear. I forget what they call those two. In the book, he takes out the they made up I'm pretty sure they made up like a head orc or goblin, whatever he was. He was just an orc in this one, I think. The Urukai weren't made yet by Sauron, but in the book he takes out like the head orc, like he comes into the battle and he's just fucking tearing it up. He like runs in and busts a few people up in the movie. It was kind of disappointing. I did not like the Battle of the Five Armies that much. I think it was too long. The Eagles once again did not talk, and like I know it sounds stupid, like it is nitpicking, but in the book they have because they spread the gold around. They each get some of the loot that the dwarves have. And I'm pretty sure they come flying in, like the head one has like a crown on his head and jewels on him. I didn't like that they didn't talk though. The first movie was really cool. I really liked the first one. The second one was good as well. They added in some people in that one too. Like I'm pretty sure Legolas came in and he was not in the book. I'm pretty sure he's not in the Hobbit book. And then the woman, was her name Toriel or something? She was pretty sure made up as well. Well, Legolas was not made up, but he was not in the Hobbit. He's just there. I'm pretty sure he's not in the Hobbit. Like I said, it's been a while. But it's cool too because I'm pretty sure there's rumblings in the Hobbit that Sauron's appeared again. They don't know that it's him. I forget where he is. Wow, what's the thing called? He's taking up shop in a certain spot, and then like the wizards, it's mentioned in the book, but I don't think they go into detail like they do. That was a cool part. I'm pretty sure that happened in the Battle of Five Armies. It's a cool part. Like all the wizards go and kind of draw it. Mirkwood, was that where he was? They draw him out, and he leaves, and then he goes back to Mordor. That was kind of cool. So you had Saruman there, Galadriel. I know some of these names are wrong. Elrond. They draw him out. I like the way the dwarves and everybody interacts. The chemistry's really good in the movies and the books as well. But it's cool. But like I said, it probably didn't need 3 movies for sure. And the Lego Hobbit game is awesome. It did not, unfortunately, it didn't get a third. The third movie didn't come out. Like I think they were supposed to make it as DLC. The first 2 were on the disc, and then they were going to do DLC when the movie came out, but they just scrapped it. I guess it didn't sell well or something, which I was pissed about because I was like, damn it, man. I want to play more of it. It was really enjoyable. There is a Hobbit game that came out. There's a Lord of the Rings game, too, that came out on Super Nintendo. And there was the animated film in the 70s, I believe, just Fellowship of the Ring. There was a Hobbit game on the Cube, PS2, and Xbox, as well as the Game Boy Advance. Game Boy Advance had a bunch of them, though. But that's kind of just me, breezing through the Hobbit part. I'm not really going to the Lord of the Rings I'll talk about now. These are ones that were released after. I think I got these at Garage Sale, 3 of them, for $2. But obviously, this is after the movies came out, so you gotta have characters, actors on the thing. So obviously, what is it, the Third Age? Takes place in, starts off, they show the battle, when the elves and men unite and take out Sauron. I'm not gonna be able to remember this guy's name either. The dude cuts off, Sauron's finger and the ring comes off. He makes a ring so he can control people, but the elves are onto him. The dwarves end up not giving a shit either, and the men, of course, get taken over by the rings, and they became the Nazgul. But the book's cool. Like I said, the movie, I'll kind of just bring them both up at the same time. Tom Bombadil's in the book, and he's such a cool character. Like a lot of people, there's always theories about if he he's like, he like puts on the ring, like Frodo's like, he puts on the ring and he doesn't even disappear, like it has no effect on him, he doesn't give a shit, he's like, whatever, here you go, you know, it doesn't corrupt him at all in the brief time he has it on. But he's not in the movie at all. I don't even know if he's in the extended version. But that's what it is. Oh my god. Isildur, I can't say their names. I think he's the guy who kills him. And then he gets killed by some orcs. And the ring's gone. The ring's like trying to get back to Sauron. And then Gollum picks it up and he gets completely corrupted and mutated and everything else. It's fitting he has it and it's as precious. Everybody knows, you know. That, and then at the end of the third, the Return of the King, he has it like one last time as he's falling into the pit of doom. Mount Doom, is that what it was called? But, the movies were really cool. The Ents are in the two towers, the giant tree things, they're cool. They fuck shit up. Because Saruman is like destroying, Saruman gets corrupted too. He has the Palantir or whatever the thing that he like communicates with Sauron, like sees him through it and then he corrupts him. So he becomes a bad guy. That was not in, I'm just gonna bounce all over the place here, to be honest with you. In Return of the King, the Scouring of the Shire was a thing where him and Wormtongue end up at the Shire and they like really go to town on it. And then at the end I think Wormtongue actually kills Saruman. But that was not in the movies. I don't think that was in an extended version either. But that's what it is. It's Bilbo ends up with the ring from Gollum in The Hobbit. That happens in The Hobbit. He does the little riddle game with him, gets the ring, kind of cheats. Because he steals the ring, and then Gollum doesn't know he's looking for it. Then they do the back and forth of the riddles. And then Gollum's kind of onto him, chases him, and he gets away, and Bilbo has it for a while. And the Lord of the Rings starts with Bilbo wanting to give it to Frodo, and Nazgul are hunting it down now. And Gandalf comes, like, we gotta get out of here. And then they go to, what's the elves' place? God damn it. They go to the elves, city, Rivendell. They go there. And then everybody comes, like, Boromir comes from Gondor. Aragorn's a ranger at that point, but he's obviously the heir to the throne of Gondor. He comes, Legolas comes from the elves. He represents them. Gimli represents the dwarves. But they all, kind of meet up, and you have Merry, Pippin, Sam, and Frodo all come together, and Gandalf's part of it as well. And then they go out on a journey. Boromir gets a bit corrupted by it. He's played by Sean Bean in the movie. Of course he is, because he dies. He tries to take it from Frodo, and then he kind of realizes he fucked up. Frodo gets away, and he's like, oh my god, I fucked up. And then he ends up dying, protecting Merry and Pippin. So he comes back, but he ends up paying the price for, what happened, but he does kind of go back to good again. Like, there's a cool part in the book that they didn't do in the movies, which I kind of wish they did, when he blows on the horn of Gondor. Like, the orcs are coming at him, and all of a sudden he blows on it, and they stop in their tracks, because they think a huge army's gonna come, because that signals, alright, bring the reinforcements. But obviously it doesn't. And they didn't do that in the book. I mean, the movie. Which, whatever, like I said. Books are usually always better than the movie anyway. That was kind of cool in the book. He blows on it, and they all just stop, because they think all of a sudden, a fucking army is gonna come. And the horn gets split, and then, his father gets it. His father's like nuts. In Return of the King. Faramir's his brother, who pops up in the two towers. Or does he pop up in... Rohan is the town in the second one where the guy, I can't remember his name either, he's corrupted by Wormtongue, though, and Saruman. They break him free from the spell, and let me see, wait. Faramir is in the second. Is in. I think he first appears in that one. Because in the book, Boromir dies in the beginning of the Two Towers. In the movie, he dies at the end of Fellowship of the Ring. He's in like the first chapter of the Two Towers. Two Towers are the Tower of... I forget their names too. Orthanc is the one Sauron's in, and then the one in Mordor that... what's his name's in? Hold on. Sauron's in. I can't remember. Orthanac's definitely the one. I'm probably saying it wrong. King Theoden. He's the one. And is it his daughter or is it his niece? She knows Wormtongue's up to no good. Oh, what's her name? I gotta get her name too. Royan's Cool City, like in the movies, did such a great job of making like the models and everything. They filmed in New Zealand, which was the backdrops, and they're just gorgeous. But there's like a lot of cool. It should say what the other one is. Isengard is where he's holed up. What's his name? Treebeard's the main end. Helm's Deep's where the battle takes place. I'm glad I saw that too. The huge battle takes place there. Like they're giving weapons to kids and stuff because they know it's going down. And then Gandalf comes with the riders for Rohan and they just start slaughtering everybody. At this point, Gandalf the White, not the Gray anymore. That's right. Liv Tyler plays Arwen. She's in all of them. Where is she? Eowyn. I'm probably saying that wrong too. She kills the Witch King in the third one. Like I said, I'm bouncing all over the place. But I forgot to mention, in Fellowship of the Ring, they end up in the Dwarven City. They're like, we gotta cut through, and they're like, shit. We have to cut through, God damn it. Eomer is Carl Urban. I think they're both just, like, nephew and niece. I don't think they're his kids. I think, like, Theoden's kid had already died, or he dies. It's just randomly in it. He does die, though. But Gandalf, they end up in the mines of Moria. And it's all gone. Like, the orcs were there, and the Balrog, like, they read the note, and they're like, oh, it's coming up from the deep. It's the Balrog. That was, like, hit there because, like, way back when Sauron was in power with Melkor, I think his name's Melkor, was the original guy. And Sauron's like his lieutenant. He corrupts Sauron because Sauron's part of the Velor or something like that, like the elites that get sent down. And he gets corrupted. He was like a big smith, I think, Sauron. That's why he made the rings. He was like a blacksmith or whatever. But they had Balrogs fighting with him, and I think after everything went down and they lost, that Balrog like kind of just hid in Moria. And I guess he took out all the dwarves and stuff. And there's orcs in there. And Gandalf fights the Balrog. They pretty much kill each other, and then he's reborn. Gandalf the White. The Balrog looked really cool in the movie, but there's always debates on that. I see where like what he really like. He kind of looked like a dude, a regular dude, but he had like this weird like shadow or smoke wings. It's like they try to figure out what he is, but they're cool as fuck though. But that was a cool, actually, the thing they put in the movie that was in the book. When Boromir's like, what's this new devilry? He's like, it's a Balrog. He's like, it's beyond all of you. It's a Balrog. And Legolas has like this look on his face, like, oh shit, because like the biggest bane of elves other than Sauron were Balrogs. So that was a nice little touch they had into it. You had a look on his face, like in the book they mentioned that. He's like, oh fuck. That's a great battle in the movie. In the book as well. They fight their way out of there, and then they're all upset, and then they go to Rivendell, and then that's when Galadriel, I'm saying their names wrong, kind of knows Boromir, like, 'cause she gives him all a gift, and she, like, sees into his heart that his father has gone nuts because he finds the broken horn and his son's body, I think, shows up. And they put it in the little boat. And then Faramir doesn't care about it. He's going to burn Faramir alive when he thinks he's dead with himself. He ends up burned alive. Faramir doesn't. I think he ends up married to Eowyn. But they're really cool. Let me find their name. His name, too. I like The Lord of the Rings, I think, better than, excuse me, of the Harry Potters. Excuse me. Because it's just more intense. Like, I love the Potters, though. Like, really, like, at first I was like, these things are stupid. You know, there's always a gimmick in Harry Potter. Like, oh, you gotta find, you know, the key. You can't just get the key. You gotta do all this weird shit. But then it grew on me. I freaking loved it. I thought it was amazing. But the Lord of the Rings is more of that. It's more, I guess, adult. And here's the thing. I've talked about this in the past, and I'm going to mention it now as well. I just can't take Voldemort seriously as a villain. Like, you look at Sauron and you read his backstory and anything. Like, he was in power. It took two massive armies to take him out. You know, because he was in power. He had a grip on everything. He helped destroy Numenor, was where the humans lived originally, and then he went there and corrupted them, and then Eru, I think they call the creator, he like destroyed that island because I think, what happened? I think Sauron's like, yeah, you should go to the mainland from your island, and the god was like, no, you gotta stay here, and then they go, and then he destroys Numenor. Isildur is the guy who kills Sauron, cuts him and ring off his finger, and what's his name's descendant, Aragorn's descendant of him. But that's what he did, and then that got destroyed, and some of the men survived, and then they founded Gondor or whatever. But that's the kind of shit he was doing. Like, he was slick, and then he'd get into battle. Obviously, you see it in the movie. The first movie, he gets into battle, he's screwing shit. He'll kill 5 or 6 of the main people before he's taken out, kind of on a fluke, you know. Because, well, no, his dad gets killed by Sauron, and then he steps on the maybe that's the name of the sword. I'm screwing this up. But the sword's broken, and he cuts his finger off with the, like, part of the sword, and then they have the 3 parts, and eventually gets reforged, and Aragorn uses. Maybe that's the name of the. No, wait, is it Elendil? I don't know. I'm screwing up. But the 2 Towers and the Return of the King game are awesome. There's a Fellowship of the Ring game that was okay, but those 2 games are awesome hack and slash games. The Third Age is a role-playing game that has characters in it, but you're using random made-up people. And then they made a bunch of other stuff like War of the Ring, the Shadow of Mordor games, which is its own thing too. But overall, it was, the movies were good. The Lord of the Rings movies were very well done. More so than The Hobbit, in my opinion. I think The Hobbit did, if anything, the Lord of the Rings movies probably should have been split into different movies. Probably kicking himself they didn't do that. The Hobbit really could have been 2 max, or it could have been like a 4-hour movie. 1 4-hour movie, but. And then they all go to is it the Grey Havens or something else? Like, Bilbo's allowed to go, Frodo goes where the elves go after they leave Middle-earth. And Eowyn, or Arwen, stays and marries. She lives a mortal life with Aragorn. I mean, people live a long time in this. Like Aragorn will live, like, some of these men will live like 150 years. I'm pretty sure it's Shelob. What's the guy's name, though? Let me get the. What's his dad? What's Boromir and Faramir's dad? Like, Boromir and Faramir had like a really good relationship, but his dad liked Boromir more and not Faramir as much. was originally Smeagol, Gollum, until he got completely corrupted. Denthior, something. He goes nuts. Burns him. He wants to burn Faramir too because he thinks he's dead. And he just burns himself. There's a lot of this. You can go on and on about, Lord of the Rings stuff for sure. It's there's a lot to talk about. It's cool that the Unfinished Tales and the Silmarillion is another one. I think another book that was released after, or maybe like it was based on his writings. Like he had the writings of it, but it wasn't put into book form. Because it goes back, like Sauron's backstory goes super far back. Like the one they all sang the song. Because I think Gandalf, I don't know if Gandalf, Saruman, and Radagast the Brown are on this level, and then Sauron's like one step above them on the thing where they're all the same. They might all be the same. That's what I was saying about the Hobbit. Radagast the Brown is a big part in the Hobbit, which is kind of cool. He's the one he stopped giving a shit about, because they were all sent there for a reason, and he stopped giving a shit, and he's just lived in the woods with the animals and stuff. But he had a big part in the movie, which was kind of cool. So sometimes you can expand upon things, and it's cool, for the movie. But the games are really cool. The Lego Lord of the Rings games are fucking awesome. That's such a cool game. There's a lot of good games. The books are obviously the best, and the movies were well done. The only one I didn't really like out of all of them, including the Hobbit ones, are the Battle of the Five Armies. But Thorin Oakenshield ends up dying in the end of the Hobbit. And I think one of them went back to visit. I forget which one of the dwarves actually went back to visit Bilbo quite a bit. Oh, what was it? Might have been Dalen. I forget. But I think a few of them die in the book and the movie. Maybe like 3 of them. And it's cool too because it's all battling with wands in Harry Potter, and this like Gandalf's a wizard and he's in battle with a sword too. He's like it's kind of cool the way wizards are in Lord of the Rings. Like they have powers, but they're not like overpowered. Like even Sauron is manipulating and do stuff, but he's coming in there with a freaking giant weapon. He's throwing people and stuff, which is cool. Let me get the name of the real quick. Yeah, it is Shelob, the spider, and the spider does talk. Yeah, because I think even Shelob and the eagles are actually from the race that Gandalf is too. I think they came down, whatever they got, they became eagles. They're all part of it. The eagles screw stuff up. They fuck this shit up in the is the Return of the King, where they're in that final battle, and all of a sudden the guy, I think it's Merry or Pippin's like, the eagles are coming, and they just come down and they start grabbing the wargs and on the ground, they're grabbing people. They're fighting the Nazgul too. At that point, the Nazgul are flying on some weird dragon type creatures. So they're fighting them off. They're just picking them. But I remember everybody's like, oh, why didn't, they just ride on the eagles to get to Mordor to drop the ring in the Mount Doom or whatever. Was it Mount Doom? I mean, honestly, you could have tried that, but I'm sure that Nazgul would have been onto it, and Sauron would have been onto it too. It's a hell of a trick they gotta go on, though. But they're really cool books, and the movies were good too, and the games are really good as well. Legolas and Gimli have like a battle back and forth about who gets many kills in the Helm's Deep, which is kind of funny. But they have a good they kind of didn't like each other at first, and they really become best friends, which is cool. And the acting was really good in the movies too. It was good casting. Similar to Harry Potter, the casting was really well done. is because Aragorn, Gimli, and Legolas go, and Aragorn he commands the army of the dead. I think they're like the traitors. They like abandon everybody, and they're like stuck in ghost form or whatever, until like the king comes, and he's like, "You gotta come with us." And then they come, and they just like destroy. A bunch of boats come in with more armies for Sauron, and they screw him up. They just take him out. That turns the tide too, and then they go off to wherever they're allowed to go to now. That was cool. They said Sauron's such a badass, like I was saying before, like Voldemort. I'll kind of end on this. Voldemort, like he was badass and fucked up, but this is how it, to me, it lost it. In the first Potter, it's like the baby Harry Potter defeated Voldemort. It's like, dude, I can't take you seriously as a villain after it's the baby Harry Potter has defeated you. In every book, this guy gets defeated by Harry Potter in baby form. Like, I've said this before, maybe I'll do a Harry Potter video and I'll expand about it more, but there's obviously spoilers and all, but the reason Dumbledore got killed is for this reason only. If Dumbledore was still alive in the end battle, the good guys would have just beaten the shit out of the bad guys. Because Dumbledore could hold his own against Voldemort, and obviously the Chosen One has to defeat Voldemort or whatever the hell it was. So it's gotta be Harry Potter, but it's like, okay, Harry Potter takes out Voldemort, Dumbledore just kicks the shit out of everybody else, you know? And he only died because he was supposed to, like, it was like, he was all screwed up, because they tried to find the Horcrux, or Horcruxes, whatever they're called. And he was all screwed up, he was dying anyway, I think he was dying anyway. And then Snape kills him because he's like, listen, if there ever comes that you find out Snape was working for him the whole time, he's like, take me out. And he did. But like, I was like, come on, Sauron would slap someone like Voldemort. Like, even at the end of Lord of the Rings, like, the ring's destroyed and he kind of like blows into the wind, and he still makes like one last effort. He's not actually technically even dead. He's just pretty much like a consciousness, I guess, or something. He can't do anything anymore. Voldemort, I think, still a cool character, but it's just not the same. Like, Voldemort should have been in control for like 20 years or something like that, you know? But in reality, Voldemort wasn't he was just better of a wizard than everybody else, really, except really Dumbledore. You know, like Sauron legitimately was like a higher being than the other people. And he was slick too, you know, because he was like super beautiful and stuff. That's why he's able to like manipulate people. And then after the Numenor thing gets destroyed, his face is all fucked up. But yeah, I'll probably stop this here. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know I was all over the place and I forgot stuff, but it's still a good 35-minute ramble here for sure. I like talking about this kind of stuff. I meant to do with Harry Potter as well. Yeah, Sam goes back to the Shire as well. Like I said, scouring the Shire wasn't in it, but Wormtongue, I'm pretty sure, kills Saruman. I think Gandalf goes with the elves too. But like they all sang, and then the world was created. Like they sang the God song. It's like all this stuff. But yeah, it's cool that I kind of know all that back history. I remember reading up on a ton of it a while back, like 10 years ago. But it's really cool. There's some cool strategy games as well. Battle for Middle-earth 1 and 2. But yeah, that is just a ramble in all senses of the word, because I was bouncing all over the place. Request